What are some of the world's strangest plants? When the first Western explorers returned from the Congo, they told tall tales of monstrous plants that demanded human flesh. Although we now know that no such plants exist, there are plenty of weird and scary plants in the world, enough for a little shop of horrors. Kudzu, when this vine, native to China and Japan, was brought to the United States in 1876, its ability to grow a foot per day quickly made it a nuisance. With 400-pound roots, 4-inch diameter stems, and a resistance to herbicides, it is nearly impossible to eliminate. Cow's udder, this shrub is known alternately as nipple fruit, titty fruit, and apple of Sodom. Did a group of 4th graders name it? A relative of the tomato, it sports poisonous orange fruit that look like inflated udders. King monkey cup, the largest of carnivorous pitcher plants, traps its prey in pitchers up to 14 inches long and 6 inches wide. It then digests them in a half-gallon of enzymatic fluid. The plant has been known to catch scorpions, mice, rats, and birds. Titan arum, known in Indonesia as a corpse flower, this plant blooms in captivity only once every 3 years. The 6-foot-tall bloom weighs more than 140 pounds and looks, as its Latin name says, like a giant shapeless penis. Even less appealingly, it secretes cadaverine and putrescine, odor compounds that are responsible for its smell of rotting flesh. Resurrection fern, this epiphyte, that is, air plant, gets its nutrients and moisture from the air. Although other plants die if they lose 8 to 12% of their water content, the resurrection fern simply dries up and appears dead. In fact, it can survive despite losing 97% of its water content. Woolemi pine, previously known only through 90-million-year-old fossils, the Woolemi pine tree was rediscovered in Australia in 1994. Fewer than 100 adult trees exist today. Although propagated trees are being sold around the world, the original grove's location is a well-guarded secret, disclosed to only a few researchers. Rafflesia arnoldii, also known as a meat flower, this parasitic plant has the largest single bloom of any plant, measuring 3 feet across. It can hold several gallons of nectar, and its smell has been compared to buffalo carcass in an advanced stage of decomposition. Hydnora africana, this parasitic plant is found in Namibia and South Africa, growing on the roots of the Euphorbia succulent. Most of the plant is underground, but the upper part of the flower looks like a gaping, fang-filled mouth. And, because smelling like rotting flesh is de rigueur in the weird plant world, it emits a putrid scent to attract dung or carrion beetles. Aquatic duckweed, also known as watermeal because it resembles cornmeal floating on the surface of water, this is the smallest flowering plant on Earth. The plant is only 61 mm long, and the edible fruit, similar to a very tiny fig, is about the size of a grain of salt. Spanish moss, although it is a necessary prop in Southern Gothic horror tales, Spanish moss is neither moss nor Spanish. Also known as Florida moss, long moss, or graybeard, it is an air plant, epiphyte, that takes nutrients from the air. It's also related to the pineapple and has been used to stuff furniture, car seats, and mattresses. Baobab tree. The baobab is the world's largest succulent, reaching heights of 75 feet. It can also live for several thousand years. Their strange, root-like branches gave rise to the legend that they grow upside down. Their enormous trunks are often hollowed out and used as shelter, including a storage barn, an Australian prison, a South African pub, bus stops, and in Zambia, a public toilet, with flushing water, no less.